Hello.
Hello, my name's Cambridge Jones.
And I'm Hugo Burnand.
And this is Double Exposure.
A podcast about photography and photographers.
And everything that surrounds it, just in case we want to talk about anything else at all.
And today we are going to talk about one of your favourite subjects.
You know I hate it.
Group photography.
Oh.
What I love about group photography is it starts off thinking, oh God, family groups. What are we going to talk about family groups? But group photography covers historical documents, advertising, war, fashion, families, weddings, pop groups. I mean, group photography is such an enormous subject and really exciting.
Okay, so you are beginning to interest me, but your challenge for this week is to end the podcast with me liking group photography. But can I say one thing before we start, which is, because I knew we were going to talk about it and I was thinking about it, it sort of reflects my view of human interaction generally. I like talking to you one-to-one, even with the recording on and everything. I like that as a concept. You add one more person in, I'm still okay. 3, I'm getting a bit, and 4 plus, and I just lose interest. And it's very similar with photography. I'm just like, I love working with one person. And maybe that's some sort of neurodivergent, I'm not being funny, I mean genuinely, in a group conversation, I sort of cease to. Any logic to that? No. Moving on.
I mean, maybe something in the background. I mean, I learned to love taking groups when I started doing families, and I loved that thing of getting a family together and trying to show the sort of the love and the relationships between everyone. And my important thing was there should never be a hierarchy unless that was the style of the picture.
Nice.
But I don't really want Dad to be sitting in a sort of throne-like chair and the family sort of scattered around him. I want everyone to have their own equal space, and I enjoy that puzzle. And I'm going to quickly go on to, there was a fantastic painter in olden times, Nicolas Poussin.
Yes.
And he used to do these rather wonderful scenes, and everyone was connected to everyone. Either their knees overlapped in the composition, or one might be touching one on the shoulder, or someone might just be squeezing grapes and the juice would drip down into the mouth of someone underneath. So everyone is always connected. No one is left on their own within the group.
I like that. I have a hunch, and it'll be interesting as we develop this conversation, that it's going to highlight the difference between our approaches to photography in some way. Because to me, I work so much on instinct and don't really have any predetermined rules or understanding of how I want to work. Whereas I think with groups you have to. Is that fair? You can't just wing it.
You say wing it.
Okay.
And that makes me want to slightly cheekily come up with our first picture.
Okay.
Which is the building of the RCA building. And this was a publicity stunt. And you've got all these guys sitting on an RSJ, which is hanging out over the landscape of Manhattan. And it's quite a well-known photograph.
I always thought it was the Empire State Building.
No.
Is it Charles Ebbets?
Well done,
thought
you.
it was.
10 out of 10. Yeah. God, I'm actually doing a podcast because I'm quite sharp.
But I definitely thought it was the Empire State Building.
No. It's the RCA building being built. And there are all the workmen sitting on a rafter, an RSJ, hanging out. You can't even see how it's being suspended.
Are they genuinely hundreds of metres off the ground?
Yes. And they've all got their lunch boxes and their newspapers.
That's just terrifying.
I know. So winging it, I don't think they were winging it.
Okay, well, here's my challenge to you.
Yeah.
I think that's a great photo.
Yes.
But I don't think it's a great group photo. I think it's a great photo because of where they are and the context of, because in a sense we're not interested in any of them. We're interested in them as a formation of people. Is that fair? Will you accept that challenge?
Yeah, but it's a good group. I mean, there they are on their lunch break with their sandwich boxes and their newspapers.
Well, which particular wedding are you thinking of recreating this shot for?
I'm broadening group photography and just showing that there are so many elements of it. I mean, as I said at the beginning, if you limit it to just being family groups at weddings, that's quite dull.
Okay, no, I'll accept that.
But to open up mind, and you were saying you only like working with 1, maybe 2 people, 3's a crowd, whatever. But I like working with combinations of people, and I reckon that they were all styled to a degree by the photographer.
Do you think?
Well, style to the extent of make yourselves look like you're having lunch and not shitting a brick.
Right. Yeah.
That's styling, isn't it? Don't look down, exactly. But if you go to the Rockefeller
But in a sense, I love it. Okay,
Yeah,
and it's iconic, and it's kind of brilliant. But in terms of me understanding photographing groups,
Okay, I'm going to challenge you again.
Other than the context, I take little from it.
Okay, how
You can see I'm going to be very
about
difficult
this
today.
photograph? Because I think there's a lot. I'm going to put it on the screen for you
Yeah.
because it's nicer on the screen.
Yeah.
What do you think of that photograph?
I love it.
Yeah.
I've always loved it, actually.
Yeah.
But again, I'm going to say it cheats, because one of the problems with group photography is this problem that everybody doesn't look good at the same moment.
Excuse me.
Wait, calm right down. These are supermodels.
Yes.
They know how to look good at the given moment. So again, which wedding are you going to recreate the group of supermodels?
The wedding is okay. It's a photograph called Supernova, and we've got 5 supermodels. Can you name them left to right? Naomi Campbell, Linda Evangelista, Tatiana Patats, I can't say the name, Chrissy Tellington, and Cindy Crawford. And it was taken by Peter Lindbergh.
Yes.
Now,
And it was at the height of the supermodel.
Well, this was part of what sort of created the group. But what I like about it, it's a casual snapshot. It's a casual friends on the beach, friends coming out of the restaurant. And yet actually what it has been turned into is an iconic portrait. And they are using the group. Yes, they are supermodels, but
No, I do
what
agree
I'm
with you.
trying
I
to
do
say
agree with
is
you.
it's quite fun taking a very casual idea and formalizing it. And we are crossing so many boundaries here. We're doing fashion, we're doing advertising, we're doing group photography, we're doing black and white photography, and we're doing natural daylight as well. All these things that we like to talk about are absolutely summed up in this one picture.
I totally agree with you, and I'm being a little bit cheeky, but and one of the reasons I do agree with you is this is not context dependent, because these guys could be against a brick wall, they could be in the if that's my phone going.
It says Naomi Campbell.
That's Naomi. Yeah. Sorry, Naomi.
His
We're being
phone
nice
has
about
just rung and it says Naomi Campbell on it.
Shush.
That's cool. I'm going to change Mum's name to Cindy Crawford.
There we go.
and
That is
hey,
no
Mum,
longer
can you give me a
fun.
ring? Oh, look, who's calling?
That's a good idea. But no, one of the reasons I do love this is because it's not context dependent, because you could recreate that. And what I think is really beautiful is there's, you know, your thing about the connection between people. There's no space for anything. It's really, really clever, because you've just got the, when I show you some of mine, one of the things I'm heavily influenced by is that early Beatles cover where you just see the 4 heads. Mm-hmm. And in a sense, they've done that without any construct or anything. It's just, you're just using their heads, and to position them like that without having to have any other context, or it's much, much cleverer than it looks, is what I suppose I'm trying to say. I think. It's
It's an iconic, wonderful photograph.
No, and the other thing is they're all in the same plane, so you haven't got to deal with depth of focus. You don't have to make sure that there's, different, because there is a depth of field there, but because everything in the background is clearly but they're all in the same plane, so that keeps it nice and simple. It's lovely, beautiful. I accept that one.
Okay, and funnily enough, it's quite contemporary, although it was obviously taken a while ago. I don't know when it was taken. I'm looking at my notes. They're not. 2008 it was taken.
Which goes to your point the other day, where you were talking about, put it in black and white, and it goes into the past, unspecified past.
Yeah, but also girl power.
Yeah.
So contemporary today, right now. And look at that.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, isn't it? And also, I was going to say safety in numbers, but I mean strength in numbers. They are like a core group.
Yeah. No, I think it is beautiful, and I'll take that one. Do you want to continue with yours, or do you want me to show you one?
These aren't mine. These are just trying to explain. And for anyone at home listening, on holiday or with the family or whatever, it is nice to get these compositions, and you can steal ideas from magazines, record covers or whatever, and make your own version of them. But there's no hierarchy. It's black and white. There's no lighting, minimal makeup, and it's a powerful picture. It's sort of backlit. You see how the hair is just being caught in the background, so I reckon, do you know what?
Do you think there's any lighting?
I'm going to challenge our listeners.
Okay.
What if we asked them to send in their versions of a group photograph?
Nice, with 5 people.
And then we might just put them up on the Instagram and say we like this
one. Put the best ones on.
Yeah.
Let's not put the ones we don't like on. and then criticise them.
Don't know. Anyway, that's just an idea because it's like a family picture. That's
Yeah.
why I wanted you to see it.
Do you think that's front lit at all? Or do you think that's just daylight?
I think it's daylight, but probably with some reflectors.
Yeah, yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. So you asked. These are not my pictures. These
No,
are
they're not, but the ones you're using
I'm
to
really
make
excited about seeing one of yours.
Well, I was basically going to tell you how I cheat. So let's take the Stereophonics, for instance, who are a band I've shot for various things, and this is pure Irving Penn nonsense. It's like they're basically sitting. We'll put this up on the Instagram, but essentially they're sitting on a black. You know how he used to put the sheet over that? They're basically sitting on a massive speaker. But it gives them something to lean on, and he can sit on it, and they kind of form a natural structure. Not as good as the cover you've shown me, I accept. But what I was actually influenced by is a different photo where I tried to recreate the Beatles. I don't know, is it with the Beatles where you just see the heads? One of the album covers. But actually, I cheated, and you will be able to tell that I cheated, but because those weren't taken together.
Yeah.
They're basically taken separately. And then comped together, which is often because I don't love group photographs, and because the technology has allowed us to do this, I will often take them separately and then create the group photo later, which is sort of what I did with Take That, which I'll show you later.
Show me.
Well, we'll Take That, which is here. I'm quite pleased with that, but actually, this is a photo of Take That. 3 of them crouched. And then Mark doing some extraordinary Elvis impression on the right, and the rest of them looking at him, and one of them just laughing. So it looks like they are interacting, and it looks like you've got a group something going on.
Yeah.
But actually you haven't.
And what was this used for?
This was used for King, then Prince Charles's charity book.
Brilliant.
Inspired by music.
Brilliant. So each one, or is it a comp of one picture and you added in him, or
no?
Is
So each one of them was shot on a white background in a number of poses.
Yeah.
And then I decided how I could fit it together. So it is creative, but it's post hoc creative, if you like. It's not creative in the moment.
And did you get them all to do the Elvis Presley thing?
No, because he just does that. you can't stop Mark doing that.
Okay.
But I suppose in a way I'm admitting defeat by showing you my group photos because I cheat. Because they fill me with fear. So when I look at these sorts of things,
Is that a comp? Get back.
no, that isn't. Is it? I can't tell anymore. But that isn't. But that's massively Irving Penn influenced because I'm forcing them into a position where they have to react with each other.
What Irving Penn would have done, though, would have been allowed more.
Sorry, this
of
is
the
the
speaker.
Stereophonics all sitting.
Sorry, it's Stereophonics by Cambridge Jones sitting on speakers in a dark studio with one main light coming in from the left-hand side.
Yeah, a softbox. I think.
I think Irving Penn would have allowed us to see a little bit more detail there
That's
because
true.
he could be hovering.
That's
He's
true, in the
just
end.
not. But it's also very reminiscent of a photograph that I saw yesterday, or a contact sheet of the Rolling Stones in a studio. What I love about it, I can't remember who took the photograph, but what I saw in the Iconic Gallery was a contact sheet about 2 foot by 3 feet, taken on a Hasselblad, and you could see the studio behind the backdrop.
As in all the mixing desks and stuff? Or
No,
the microphones
photographic
and-
studio.
Photographic studio, sorry.
And again, it was this side light coming in. So your picture reminds me of the Rolling Stones picture.
Can I quickly show you one last picture, which has got nothing to do with what we're talking about, but except what you just said. Or maybe I haven't got it. Did I send you the Tallulah Riley one in the studio?
Yes, but that was on WhatsApp.
Same thing, yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, we'll put that up on the thing, but it's basically her in this, and you can see that it's a studio.
The wind machine.
Yeah.
And the studio, love all that.
All right. So my example is to admit that I find this very difficult and that I cheat. Do you want to now convince me that I should be learning more about group photography?
I think you should embrace it. It's so much fun. It is really good fun. And his other thing is there's an unknown element. You know how to operate the camera. You know how to operate the lights. You know how to handle your studio and your assistant.
And I know how to handle one person,
Yeah,
or two.
But then what you should allow is that unknown element to come in to elevate it. It's like adding a spice to a dish that you already know how to make, because you've got them in there. You can in a way. What I like about this is you are collaborating with the people in the photograph, rather than being a dogmatic photographer saying you've got to do this and you've got to do that.
But that is, you've just articulated brilliantly my one-to-one shoot. That's what I love about it. I can relate with you, and I'm interacting. But when you put literally my heart sinks. Tell me, if somebody says to you, when you shoot 4 people versus this one person, which of those excites you more?
4.
Honestly,
4.
4.
4. Yeah.
You are totally crazy.
No, I don't know if we can put this picture up. I'm going to find out. Anyway, I photographed a family, and I asked them. It was the father and his 3 children with all their +1s,
right,
and the grandchildren. So it's quite a lot of people. So it's a messy picture. It's a messy picture. So what we collaborated on is everyone was going to turn up in black tie, or their version of black tie.
Right.
We found a location which had a wonderful black and white tiled floor, large tiles.
Nice.
And then we dropped a canvas background down behind them. And yes, we brought in the element of Irving Penn and the ballet dancers with the A-frame ladders.
Nice.
And we did 2 versions. And I love the version where they're all sitting there, or standing, or kneeling, or whatever, in black tie, looking at the camera. And it's a great picture. And I hope that we can get permission to put it on
Is the
Instagram.
canvas just single colour?
No, it's a smoky grey.
Okay.
And then the next shot was they all produced a prop that they felt represented their grandfather, who was in the centre of the picture, because it was his 90th birthday. It was a celebration.
Lovely.
So they all brought something, and there were some strange things. There was a Jewish chronicle. There was a bosha, hat, a straw hat. There was a melon. I can't remember all the props, but everyone brought a prop. And suddenly the picture went from the photographer's dictation of what you have to do for this group photograph to a fantastic collaboration between 14, 15 people and the photographer. And if you put the 2 pictures side by side, you cannot help but look and be entertained and want to look further and further into the picture with the props. The props don't dominate, but they are there. They're a question. And that is what I'm saying about group photography. It's really fun to collaborate with them and let them bring something to the picture which makes it a much richer portrait.
It's interesting. So I use that same trick, but I tended to use it with, we talked about couples when they get engaged or pre-managed photos. I would get them to bring stuff in.
Pre-managed?
Pre-marriage. Sorry.
Sorry, say that again.
When couples come in sometimes to be photographed pre-getting married, and I'm doing, which you and I have debated whether you call them engagement photos, but they're the part of getting to know your subject before the wedding day. And I would often get them to bring in objects like that. And I think it is incredibly helpful. But again, the same problem happens to me when you then have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them with these objects. But I think what you're maybe talking about is the natural dynamic that happens in that. Because my favourite moment in a group shot, and you can go and watch Succession to see this, is the moment after you've shot the formal photo. And I literally almost always at the end of it go, and I'm saying, say whatever. And then at some point I go, I kind of got it. Now I want a silly shot. And I go, right, say, fuck off home photographer, or I've had enough of this bullshit, or say something like that. And there's a beat, as we've discussed before. And then they sort of all laugh because they can't quite believe you've asked them to say that. And it's that moment when they're laughing with each other and looking at each other that I love.
The breaking shot.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Thank you. You've given me a name now. I like that. And it's that, and in a way, is that close to the interaction you're getting with the object there?
Definitely. You must allow. Otherwise, it becomes over-directed. And this is the other thing I have about not spending hours and hours and hours pressing the shutter.
Yeah.
You need energy. You need adrenaline in a photograph. because that translates, that is animation that comes through the lens onto the printed image. And if you don't give them too much time, you get them in there, they are energized and it comes through. If I spend hours setting it up, getting the lighting right, getting everything where I want it, but then you just throw in the randomness and you have to capture that.
I think
otherwise people's shoulders sag and their smiles droop, and then you've got to get them to say, oh, fuck off, photographer. Whereas actually what you want is a much more buzzy energy.
I think that in a way you've hit on what I don't... You used the phrase over-directing just then.
Yes.
And it's that I recoil from. It's like I don't want... Because the minute I feel I'm kind of micro-controlling the thing, I feel they've lost spontaneity. I suppose, in a way, it's like it's more of a jazz approach to photography than a classical approach. Does that make any sense? It's like I'm just going to go in there and play with them, but I can only do that with one or two people. I can't do it when you've got...
Okay, so are you happy with, I'm just going to show Cambridge, the Solway International Conference on Electrons and Photons, taken in 1927.
Can you wake me up when you get to the end of that sentence?
That is, and it's by Benjamin Coupry. Should we pronounce it Coupry?
Coupry looks good.
Now, there is a group photograph which shouldn't scare you.
Is that Einstein in the middle?
Yes.
Oh
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
It's
fascinating how he jumps out.
But what I was going to say is now you are in total control there. It's a historical document. It's a group photograph. Would you be comfortable doing that?
I'd be comfortable and I'd have zero creative satisfaction.
Okay.
I just see no point to that, other than as a record.
A historical document.
Yeah. Which I
But
guess...
I'm trying to work out where you would be comfortable doing a group. Never.
Very rarely. Very rarely.
Okay.
I mean, I'm uncomfortable even talking about it.
Okay.
Frankly.
Here's a group photograph, which it's by Don McCullen.
Oh, yes.
And it's a protester. Cuban Missile Crisis, Whitehall, London, 1962, long before we were born.
Nice.
It's a group photograph. It's of a group of policemen confronting a protester who is sitting completely on his own with a banner in his Mac. And what I'm trying to illustrate by this is don't be scared. That would be such a boring picture if there was just one protester.
Yeah.
But we have an enormous group of policemen, and it's a group photograph. And it's not in a studio, it's not a wedding.
Is it?
Okay, what do you call a group of policemen?
It's a photo with a group of policemen in it. It's not a group photo.
Okay. Well then,
because it's clearly a photo made by this protester and the back of him. It's it's brilliant, by the way. I think it's superb. But it's not a group photo of policemen.
Okay, well you better define for me what a group photograph is.
Well, I can only describe it in the sense of what I fear. And I think that translates quite well, because the things you're showing me don't give me the fear. But it is the moment when somebody says, you're at an event or somebody comes with a commission and they say, will you do this group of 5, 10, 15 people? That's the group photo to me. Mm. It's not a photo with I like what you're doing and you're extending the boundaries, but I don't see that as a group photo. It's clever and it's a good try to win me over. But I'm resisting.
But I'm now going to show you a photograph which I claim is going to tick all the boxes.
Okay.
It is a group selfie. It is at the Oscars in 2014. It was taken by Bradley Cooper, and it has in it Meryl Streep, Jennifer Lawrence, Brad Pitt, Lupita Nyong'o, and various other people. I think he might be cancelled.
Kevin Spacey,
yes. Ellen DeGeneres.
She's blocked out. Who's that?
Angelina Jolie.
But it's incredibly famous, isn't it? It went all around the world.
Went all around the world, and it's great. It's got emotion, it's got energy, it's got adrenaline, spontaneity, and it's fun. And had you been in that picture, would you have enjoyed taking it?
Yes.
Great, we've found a group photograph.
But is it a great group photo?
Yes.
No.
It crashed the... Listen.
That's not the definition of a great photo. Can you crash the internet? It's the fame level we're talking about. That's what's going on here.
Okay.
It's like...
I shall tell you what I feel.
If you put
right
that
now,
level of star
any
power...
picture I show you, you're going to find a negative one.
No. I'm going to honestly respond to whether or not I think that's if you or I had been commissioned to take that group, it is a great selfie, don't get me wrong. I have a problem with selfies, we can come to that.
Yeah.
But if you or I had been commissioned to take that portrait of those people, I don't think we'd be too chuffed with ourselves for a number of reasons. Like, who is that? Why can't we see that person? This person's trying to get into this one's half cropped out.
You're literally too easy to trash it. It is brilliant.
It is quite easy to trash it. You're right.
No, it is brilliant. Okay, I would have been thrilled if I had taken it.
No, you would.
I would, because of everything I said: the energy, the fun, the vitality. You cannot not enjoy looking at that picture. And what I would like to say is, for people listening at home, how do you take selfies and how do you take groups and all that sort of stuff? Enjoy yourself, because the enjoyment is part of the viewer's pleasure. If you're having fun, then
I agree with that.
The viewer will
I
have
do
fun.
agree with that. And in a sense, this is, what did you call the shots after you've told everyone to relax?
The breaking shot.
The breaking shot. In a sense, this relates to a breaking shot.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I suppose what I think is it's a separate category. The selfie.
No, it's a group picture. You said that, and you're not letting
it is
it
a
go.
group photo.
Yeah, thank you.
I think if you or I were doing the breaking shot of these people, we'd both come up with a better shot than that, which doesn't make this uninteresting for a lot of reasons, not least the star power on display. But I'm not being funny. I genuinely think you or I would have taken... No, I'm not being remotely funny. I'm being a little bit argumentative. But I do think, I genuinely think you or I would have taken a better breaking shot than that.
Oh, I don't know.
We should think about other careers.
No. I'm very happy. Right, I would like to... Can you bring up a picture that you'd like to talk about?
So there's a band called Blake, who were quite big for a short while, #1 albums and stuff, but sort of classical crossover with pop. And I was commissioned to do their album cover. And I'm showing you two photos of this. We'll put them both on the Insta. One is all of them together in the shot, which is this one.
Yeah.
And I was okay with this.
And is that a montage, or you took that
No,
picture?
that's genuine. So
Okay.
what we've got here is the four of them, one slightly behind the other, in a line, all lit slightly from one side.
I'm going to ask you some technical questions.
Oh God, I won't remember. But
did you have a stylist?
Yes.
Makeup?
Yes.
Hair?
Yes.
Wardrobe? Assistant?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you suggesting it looks like I had none of those?
No. These were the easy questions. Do you know what aperture you shot?
No idea.
Okay.
No idea.
Because I think you've done really well to get these guys
all
in focus.
Yeah, that's a good point. Which is one of the things I think we should mention when you're doing group shots, is the depth of field you need to... It's no good just putting it on auto and hoping it all works out. You need to think about that. But so that was a proper group shot, and I'm okay with that, and I think that may be the album cover that they ended up with. But in case that didn't work, I did the same trick again, which is to photograph them all individually and then put them together like that. So we'll put both these on the Instagram on Hugo and Jones. But one of them is for heads, sort of like a noughts and crosses board, effectively.
What I want to pull up in reference to this is the iconic photograph of Queen.
Yes.
Which is basically what you have been inspired by. Now, do you know how Queen's cover, what that inspiration was from?
No, and just while you're on that sort of was one of the influences on that Stereophonics shoot as well. So you're right to pick up on that. But no, carry on. I don't know.
Have you heard of Marlene Dietrich?
Yes.
It's a famous portrait of her. The lighting, the positions of the head.
Oh, that's what inspired
and
them.
That's what inspired the Queen cover. And then the Queen cover inspired you. And what I like about that is this continuation of trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Or just using history to inform you and to maybe make your own version or improve or better.
That's lovely, because it's quite possible, and I guess neither of us know, but it's quite possible that Marlene Dietrich was influenced by some painting prior to that as well. So I love that kind of constant... There's that lovely... In music, and there's lots of these cases at the moment where people are suing each other for stealing their lines. And there's that... And Elvis Costello recently just said, it's not stealing, it's homage. They're just paying tribute. I quite like that you take a bit of creativity and you're influenced by it.
But interesting, you say, do you think Marlene Dietrich's portrait was influenced? Well, it's sort of Rembrandt lighting.
Right.
You know, so we're going back to Rembrandt has actually
influenced the Blake album cover.
Yeah, or the Stereophonics,
I'll take
or
that.
Queen, or whatever. You know, it's, I think it's really wonderful.
That's really nice.
But there was also apparently Freddie Mercury was keen to elevate Queen with that album cover, making them otherworldly.
Because am I right? They just appear out of the black.
Yeah,
Each head.
Yeah.
Group
photograph. I mean, what are we talking about? Because
Are you asking me what a group photograph is?
yeah, I mean, you show me a picture of 4 individual people and said that's a group photograph. I show you a picture of a group of 10 policemen and you think that's not a group photograph.
Well,
I think you have to expand or just loosen the constrictor of a group photograph being a photographer dictating people in a wedding lineup. I think group photography, that's why I'm so excited about today, is it's such a big subject topic and it covers all these areas. Advertising in your record covers, reporting a Cuban Missile Crisis, supermodels acting like one big happy family. All these things can be used at home. Your child will not eat peas. You can take a Cuban Missile Crisis picture of your child holding up his peas in front of the parents who are all standing there in absolute fury. You can use all these influences to make your own photographs.
You are beginning to convince me.
Okay,
But I still resist. Take the police one, but go back to the policeman, Don McCullen. You know, I just think that's a brilliant photograph. But in no way is it.
It's a group photograph. If that's a group photograph, so is Don McCullen's.
No, but anyway, I'm telling you this isn't a group photograph. That is. My photo of Blake, for the listeners, the photo of Blake where they're lined up one behind the other, I think it clearly is a group photograph. They're all in the room together. I photographed them together. It's a group of 4 people. Boom, job done, get paid, nice. This one, I'm sort of showing it to you because it isn't a group photo. It's me cheating.
Okay, now shall we, what do you think of that one?
I love it.
Okay, what we're looking at is the Vogue cover for, I think it was the 100th anniversary cover edition. And it was by Patrick de Marchelier again in 1992. So it was prior to the Supernova picture.
Do you think the clue that it's the 100th anniversary special is the fact that it says 100th anniversary special on it?
Oh, good point. But, so we've got all these supermodels. And what I love about this is it is history and the future combining today when it was taken. We've got the A-frame ladders and the planks from Irving Penn. It's been used in history so many times, but they are all dressed in white, which is clean and crisp, and it's the way forward in the early 90s of fashion. There's a sort of purity to it. There's a bit of big hair in there. There's so much about it. I love that picture. I prefer the black and white of the 5 supermodels. But I think it's a pretty good picture.
And he's got more people to fit in, so he's had to use the height. But again, what he has, and this is a point we should touch on if people are interested in group photos, is, in a sense, one of the risks is if you start putting people in lines, one behind the other.
Now we can talk about this.
And he hasn't done that. He's kept them all in the same place. Can I quickly ask you a question? Is Irving Penn the first person, because we both love him, but is he the first person to use the A-frame ladder stuff? Can you think of anyone?
I bet you there are paintings.
Do you think? I can't think of one. Okay.
But now, top tips, okay, when photographing a group of people. It is the reason why these ladders and A-frames and boxes have come in and get used in the studio, because it's really boring if you have a horizontal line. Unless you make a big issue of the horizontal line, rather like your Blake album cover. But actually, it's much more interesting. Going back to my Nicolas Poussin painting, everyone's at a different height, doing something slightly different. You have to keep that in mind when you're composing your picture at home. But try and make different heights. And an interesting thing is actually to make the tall people sit down.
Nice.
And maybe have the little people standing on the tall person's thigh. So you juxtapose the heights rather than make it a hierarchical thing. Or play to it and put the eldest and maybe the tallest on the left, going down to the smallest.
I like that too.
but play with the heights.
Which is a bit like that John Cleese thing in Monty Python, isn't it? I look down on him and he looks down. Anyway, but there was a second thought about that though, which is, you're right, it is creatively interesting to look at, but it's also incredibly pragmatic because you've got a fixed amount of visual real estate to fit these people into. And you can only go so wide before they become very, very small. So, but by using the layers above without creating layer behind layer, which is what he's effectively done here, he's actually filled that frame with far more people than he could if he tried to have them in one line. He'd either have to put them in line behind line, or he raises them up high and then keeps them all in focus and all together. So that's deceptively brilliant, that photograph.
Okay. This may not be relevant to group photography, but my interpretation of group photography is obviously very different from Cambridge's. And I'm now going to show him
From next
a very
week, there are
important
single exposure
picture.
and single exposure.
This photograph, which we've all seen, and it is of a student in China standing in front of a line of 4 tanks.
Yeah.
And it hit the world's press. And it has gone down in history.
Tiananmen Square, right? I think.
Exactly, well done.
Yeah.
And what I discovered, because I was exploring the idea of group, and you know my thing about portraiture doesn't have to be of a person, it can be of a mushroom, it can be of a house, it can be of a lifestyle.
Yes.
And I thought group of
like
tanks.
it.
But what I discovered is that picture, and what I'm now showing Cambridge is the uncropped version. Now, we're going to disagree, I know, but I think the original picture, uncropped, is incredibly powerful because it's not a line of 4 tanks. I'm going to count them out like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 in a line coming towards the student, 19 tanks. And there is what do you call a thing of tanks? A battalion of tanks.
Let's go with that.
I mean, there are so much army power bearing down on this one man, and I think that is absolutely fascinating, and that is a group of tanks.
It is a group of tanks, and it's a great photo. My argument, the reason I'm resisting it slightly, is to me they're brilliant companion pieces. But you look at the one with all, how many tanks? 19? Whatever.
19 with a battalion behind.
You really, I'm not being funny, but you really are likely to miss the figure.
No, I totally agree.
And the power of this photo is the person standing in front of the tank. And that's almost, if you hadn't seen that one first,
you wouldn't
weirdly,
know.
This isn't a great photo.
Yeah.
But if you've seen that one, then it's suddenly a great photo. So in a sense, you need both, don't you? Which is interesting because I think that brings the whole notion of context when you're looking at something, why you're looking at it, what else you know about it into it. But no, I love it. And I love the cheeky way you brought 19 tanks into a conversation about group photographs.
And war photography.
That's good.
And I'm just going to show you this one because this is a group photograph.
I love this.
Well, in Hugo's idea, this is a group photograph.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Explain why you like this one.
This really is.
Shall we explain the photograph?
Yes, good. And to be honest, when I look, who's it by?
It is by Joe Rosenthal.
Rosenthal. I don't know.
Joe. Phone in and tell us how to pronounce your name.
Anyone? Joe Rosenthal?
Rosenthal.
Thank you. I win.
It's by Joe Rosenthal.
Joe Rosenthal. I love it. And to me, when I looked at it...
So say what it is.
It is 5 US soldiers trying to raise the American flag on debris of destroyed tank.
Something that's been bombed.
Yeah. And it is sculptural and it's iconic. 5 soldiers and this flagpole at a 45-degree angle, and they're trying to plant it in the ground, and the US flag is just waving in the air.
So when I looked, it's interesting you use the word sculptural, because when I looked at it, I thought it was a photo of a statue, of a sculpture. And on a journey you're taking me on, and you are genuinely taking me on a journey, you are making me think about what a group photograph is. It did occur to me that the sculptures who are sculpting groups of people like this, because in my mind at this point I thought it was a sculpture, absolutely have to nail what we're talking about, don't they? The interaction between the people, the way the structure it makes. So it's interesting, it's so brilliant that I didn't for a moment clock that it was real. It's so wonderful. And It just absolutely captures all those people. Is it a portrait of those people, or is it a group shot? I mean, that's not a criticism; it's a question.
I don't know, but
Because you can't really see who they are.
No, I know. I just want to read what Joe Rosenthal said about it.
Yeah.
Did I say his name correctly that time?
Rosenthal.
Yeah. Out of the corner of my eye, I had seen the men start the flag up. I swung my camera and shot the scene. That is how the picture was taken. And when you take a picture like that, you don't come away saying you got a great shot. You don't know.
What does he mean? That he didn't realise he'd caught the great shot?
But this is pre-digital.
Yeah.
On film.
But
he saw it, he took it, he hoped it was good, he didn't know. So then in the process of developing it and printing it, suddenly it becomes this thing.
But that's so fascinating because I misread it the first time and I thought it said, you just know. Because do you know that feeling sometimes when you click, not in digital, but in film, and you click it and you do just think, I've just nailed it, I've got it, I'm what I'm. So I was interested, but he's talking about something different because it's like a fleeting moment of reality.
And I mean, maybe a bomb went off 5 seconds later. And he wouldn't remember.
He's just sort of snapping.
Anyway, I don't know if we're getting to the end of our group.
Do we have any other?
But there is always that one.
Great.
We've referred to it so many times.
Yes.
And what I'm showing in Cambridge is the picture of Irving Penn and the New York Ballet, I think in 1947. Yes, it was in 1947, with the A-frame ladders, the plank and the carpets. And everyone in the picture. And I love it. And it has inspired pictures that we've looked at today. And
magazine cover after magazine cover.
And top tips for people at home: use these props to change the heights and abandon the expected hierarchy and formality and just mix everything up together and allow the individuals, don't be too controlling, allow the individuals to give their own interpretation of the photograph.
Yeah, and if you want to put it even more simply, don't put them in, because they can't all fit into your frame, don't put them behind each other, put them above each other and to the side, and use the whole space vertically and horizontally. It's been fascinating trying to be pushed into extending I think I have extended my view of what group photographs are, to be honest.
And anyone listening, I hope they will get some fun out of doing group photographs.
I agree with that, and I think the real litmus test for me will be when the next person asks me to do a group photograph.
Yeah.
Do I just phone you up and say, "Will you do this, please?"
Or do I say, "Yeah"? I was going to do it the other way around. If they ring me up and say, "Sorry, I'm busy, but call Cambridge."
Call Cambridge. He loves them. Really great talking to you about it. Thank you. Great to see you.
So over to you, Cambridge, because I've suggested that people send in their pictures and you're going to tell them where to send them.
Yes, because not only can you do it on the Insta Hugo and Jones, you can also email us at double.exposure@raconteur.tv, and the address is also on the show notes under the podcast. Great to see you again, Hugo.
And you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.